I think that Liverpool will still probably see Divock Origi and probably Simon Mignolet out the door. In terms of outgoings already, Emre Can saw the end of his contract. He's off to Juventus to go play with Cristiano Ronaldo, apparently, that's just strange to me. It's strange to me that Emre Can and Cristiano Ronaldo are going to be on the same team with Paulo Dybala, and it's real weird to me. But it's a thing that has happened in the world. Also, Danny Ings has gone off on a season-long loan with an intention to make the loan permanent next season off to Southampton, which is weird in its own respect. Liverpool typically buys from Southampton, doesn't sell to Southampton, so whatever. Danny Ings, I'm kind of sad to see go. As I understand it, he's just sort of looking for regular game time. He's probably not going to get that at Liverpool, so he might as well go off to Saints and have a career. One of my it's a real shame he came into Liverpool and he was really the type of player that I love to see on Liverpool, just constantly working and striving and fighting to do a lot of great work both offensively and defensively from the striker position. A real number nine's number nine as far as I'm concerned. But his career, his time at Liverpool has been marred by injury, so it's a shame. But I completely, by the same token, completely understand his decision to go. So all of that being said, the season kicks off properly this evening. Leicester City and Manchester United kick things off tonight. I mean, it's exciting. It's Friday Night Football. It's the first game of the season. It's always going to be an exciting thing. I'll be pulling for Leicester just simply because they're not Man U in this case. But honestly, the game that I'm looking forward to comes on Sunday. And of course, that is Liverpool's season opener against West Ham United Sunday morning. I'll be watching that with bated breath. I'm hoping, very very hopeful that we're gonna see a big Liverpool win with I don't know, just a very very exciting Liverpool squad. We have depth on the bench, guys. It's really exciting. I cannot wait. So that's gonna do it for Soccer Talk for this week. When we come back on the other side of this, we're gonna talk about some good news about some social media sites making some solid choices in terms of who they allow on their platforms. You know what? I just realized I didn't talk about Everton at all in that last segment in terms of Liverpool's rivals. Yeah, they had a transfer window too. It is so weird to me that Tottenham did not sign a single player. Really strange. Anyhow, speaking of Schadenfreude, we're going to talk really quickly before we get into Alex Jones. I'm going to talk really quickly about former Stanford University swimmer and convicted rapist Brock Turner had his appeal in his sexual assault conviction denied by a California court, rejected in a unanimous panel. Basically, Turner was trying to argue that there was not sufficient evidence against him. Judge Franklin Elia said that there was substantial evidence to support the conviction of all three charges. In particular, Judge pointed at Turner tried to run from two graduate students who had confronted him while he was assaulting the then 22-year-old woman. Judge wrote in his statement that the victim was slurring her speech when she left the frat party with Brock Turner, and the graduate students had also testified that the victim was unconscious, and Turner actually lied to police about running away. So he is a registered sex offender. He already served his time, unfortunately. Of course, you may remember we talked about this on the show that the judge who handed down his 6-month sentence with time off for good behavior was recalled in California. So yeah, Brock Turner is a registered sex offender in his Ohio State home. So that's just some good news. That's just some good news. We're a big fan of that outcome. But that's going to bring us to the thing that I actually really knew that I wanted to talk about today. As soon as the news hit earlier this week, Alex Jones, right wing conspiracy nut who has peddled fake news through his InfoWars website. And I don't use fake news in the way of like, oh, I don't like what he reports. I use fake news in the way that he said that Sandy Hook was a fake tragedy, and the children in the and the parents and who were the victims on television of the Sandy Hook massacre were paid actors, paid by George Soros in order to take away your guns. Something to do with chemicals in the water turning the frogs gay. Talk about the Pizzagate thing with Hillary Clinton somehow, and I think George Soros again because he's a particular bugbear, somehow running an illegal child prostitution ring out of a pizza shop in Washington. This is a dangerous guy who does this, he says, for, entertainment purposes, but like he has followers who believe in what he is saying. The President of the United States, Mr. Space Force. I'm not going to get into that too much, but Space Force. Guys, that's like, at this point, it's just fucking hilarious. Like, Space Force. Like, come on. Space Force? We're really, like, that's, it's delicious because there's no way it's going to actually happen. I'm not going to get into it, though. I'm not going to get into the politics of that because I haven't really looked into it too deeply other than to say it's ridiculous. Anyhow, back to Alex Jones. He was, this week, deplatformed. Not entirely. You can still get his particular brand of hate-filled nonsense from his app that you can get off of the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. You can still go to his website and you can still follow him on Twitter, but you can't catch him anymore through Apple Podcasts, through Facebook, through YouTube, or through Spotify. That's just fucking great news. I've heard a lot of argument about like, oh well, now we're allowing companies to decide who has a platform and blah blah blah. Now, you know what? This is finally these companies actually enforcing what they say their terms and conditions of using their service actually is. This man has spewed hate speech. He's spewed vile conspiracy theories, vile falsehoods, which have had real significant effects on the world, like the real world. It's not just a situation where he's just a crazy guy who's yelling, which by the way, his entire shtick is to just get you scared enough that you buy herbal supplements and you buy doomsday prep gear from his website, so that you're prepared for the oncoming liberal created apocalypse. I don't actually understand it, but whatever. Alex Jones is a vile human being. And, the victims of the Sandy Hook massacre have had some families who have had to move 4 and 5 times just because they keep on being harassed and harangued by the InfoWars crowd. You've got the Pizzagate pizzeria. Actually, a guy showed up with a fucking AR-15 to, try and bust out the kids from this supposed child prostitution ring. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure, like right now, as you're listening to this, you could go to Alex Jones's website. You could go to his app. You could go to Twitter. Which, by the way, Twitter, get your shit together and fucking ban him too. Because come the fuck on. Also, you should probably ban the president. That's a whole nother story because he's just racist. I'm not saying ban the POTUS account because like I don't think Trump gets as much free reign on that one. But real Donald Trump. That motherfucking shit is some racist fucking hate speech filled bullshit, and it should be probably banned based on Twitter's community standards. But it's neither here nor there. Twitter needs to get on board with this as well. This is a good opportunity to it's a good show of actual it's a good actual show of actual proper use of the community standards that these websites, these social media websites, these software as a service sites actually following their own rules. And I couldn't be happier, because Alex Jones, I'm sure right now, is yelling and screaming that he's been silenced, and it's just going to, flare up his base a little bit more. But it's just one fewer place, one fewer platform where he can actually spread this kind of vile, hate-filled rhetoric. And it's just one step closer to Alex Jones just not having a platform anymore. That's kind of the way that I think you have to do it. I think like I'm much more inclined to believe in more free speech than I think probably the average Canadian is anyhow. Of course, we don't have like the same absolutist free speech that they do in the States. I'm a little bit more inclined to practice a little bit more free speech. I tend to think that having more ideas out in the world makes the bad ideas look even worse. But there does reach a point where I think the right way to do it, anyhow, is to limit the actual platform. Like Alex Jones going out into the street. Like if there was not an internet for Alex Jones to be on, and he was just like, he would never make it to television, right? And you wouldn't say that television was censoring him. You would just say like they're not allowing him on their platform. Alex Jones could still go out into the town square and say that they're turning the friggin' frogs gay, but nobody would listen to him because he'd be just the raving lunatic on the corner. Allowing him to be on these platforms gives him a level of legitimacy which he does not deserve. And taking away his platform is the best way that we can punish him for peddling hate. That's what I'm going to say about that. It's a nice little Schadenfreude moment. I'm gonna calm down. We're a few hours away from the Premier League kicking off for a new season. We're going to call it a day on this episode of the John Dulong Show. This show is produced by me with music from Home Plays Here. You can check them out at loyaltyfreakmusic.com. Also art by Skylar Greencorn, who you can check out at artstation.com/sgreencorn. You can follow me on social media at Jibberty, Jiberty. And you can follow the show on Facebook.com/The John Dulong Show. You can email into the show always at johndulong@gmail.com. Of course, I'll get your letter on the air if you do. And you can, of course, find the show in all the normal podcast places, all the places where you can't find Alex Jones anymore. That's Google Play, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well. You can also just go to johndulong.com. But if you do, if you could, please rate and review wherever you do listen, as it helps to get more folks listening to the show. If you want to help support the show, you can go to johndulong.com/Patreon for as little as $1. You can help me make this show and help me cover some of the costs associated with it. As always, though, another great way to help out is tell a friend about the show. Get that word out. Get other folks listening. Maybe you know somebody who might enjoy my little ramblies. And have them listen to a show. Have them subscribe. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you get that subscribe. Make sure you get it downloaded every single Friday. Put the show out for you. Hope you enjoy it. I gave myself a little bit too much runway, I think. Oh well. We're at the end of the show now. For John Dulong, I'm John Dulong. And remember, a car's weakest part is that nut that's holding the steering wheel. Thanks. I'm so glad it's not as hot as it used to be. It's going to get hot again, though. I can already tell. Still too much moisture in the air. Didn't get that lightning. Didn't get that thunder. Oh well. Bye!